Sharing resources such as compute, storage, and networks is a primary requirement for service providers. CSPs today face a number of challenges, such as high total cost of ownership, inefficient infrastructure resource utilization, and the need for networking and security isolation. VMware Telco Cloud Platform addresses this need using multi-tenancy by allowing CSPs to spin up unique services for each customer using the same physical infrastructure. This allows for flexible provisioning, improved resource utilization, and enhanced security posture for infrastructure and lifecycle management of CNFs and VNFs. VMware Telco Cloud Automation, along with VMware Tanzu Kubernetes Grid, enables a multi-tenant solution for CAS infrastructure management and CNF lifecycle management. Now, let us consider a use case where a CSP needs to share common infrastructure resources with two customers, enabling them to deploy CNFs in their own isolated environments. The first step is to configure the networking constructs required for customers A and B using VMware NSX. This involves deploying a shared Tier 0 gateway and individual VRF gateways for each customer. This is followed by the creation of Tier 1 gateways for each customer. The next step is to create a VXLAN segment for each customer to provide connectivity to their network functions. These segments are then associated with the respective T1 gateways. Once the NSX configuration is completed, the next step is to create tenants for each customer from the default tenant using VMware Telco Cloud Automation. The tenants are configured to allow tenant-wide access to each customer. This is followed by providing access to the pre-deployed Kubernetes management cluster with the newly created tenants. Customer A logs into its tenant and deploys a workload cluster using the management cluster shared from the default tenant. Similarly, customer B deploys a workload cluster in its tenant. Now that the infrastructure is ready, the next step is to onboard the CNF in the default tenant and share it with both customer tenants. Customer A logs into its tenant and instantiates the CNF by selecting the workload cluster and providing the appropriate values. The network function is instantiated successfully. Similarly, customer B instantiates the network function with the appropriate values in its tenant. Thus, we showcased how CSPs can leverage VMware Telco Cloud Platform to deploy a multi-tenant solution for CNFs. VMware Cloud Director and VMware Telco Cloud Automation together provide a platform for managing the lifecycle of VNFs. Each customer's tenant in VMware Telco Cloud Automation is associated to an organization in VMware Cloud Director. Organizations and associated virtual data centers provide logical constructs, allowing CSPs to isolate physical resources for individual customers. VMware NSX ensures each customer's traffic remains isolated, using Tier 1 gateways for east-west traffic and Tier 0 VRF gateways for north-south traffic. Now let us consider a use case where a CSP needs to share common infrastructure resources with two customers, enabling them to deploy VNFs in their own isolated environments. The first step is to create an organization for each customer, followed by an organization VDC. The next step is to import the segment created in VMware NSX into customer A's organization and specify the static IP pool. The same process is repeated for customer B. Then, a user is created in each organization to allow customers access to their organization resources. Both organizations are onboarded as virtual infrastructure managers in VMware Telco Cloud Automation. The user created earlier is provided for authenticating the organization's access. The CSP shares organizations created in VMware Cloud Director with its respective tenant in VMware Telco Cloud Automation. The next step is to onboard the VNF to the default tenant and share access to both customer tenants. Customer A logs into its tenant and instantiates the VNF by selecting the organization VDC created for customer A and providing the appropriate values. During VNF instantiation, the corresponding VApps get created in customer A's organization. Similarly, customer B instantiates the VNF in its tenant by selecting its organization VDC. As demonstrated, VMware Telco Cloud Platform addresses the need for flexible provisioning, improved resource utilization, and enhanced security posture through multi-tenancy by allowing CSPs to spin up unique services for each customer using the same physical infrastructure. To learn more about VMware Telco Cloud Automation and VMware Cloud Director, visit our website, telco.vmware.com.